So there's a new movie coming out about Saturday Night Live, and it comes out this week, and I saw it a couple of weeks ago, and I have so many things to say about it. But first, live from Party Mountain, it's Saturday night. The review. So Saturday Night is a movie about the 90 minutes leading up to the first live broadcast of Saturday Night Live back in 1975. Now, this movie is fascinating because they recreated the original set from the blueprints that they found. So the set was built on a soundstage to replicate the 1975 Saturday Night Live set, which is really cool. Jon Batiste does a musical performance in it, and they perform the score in the actual studio that they built. The same sound that you would have had in that room. Now, the energy of this movie is absolutely relentless. Now, it's hard to imagine a time before Saturday Night Live. Now, this was 1975. The only thing people really watched was like Johnny Carson or Johnny Carson reruns. So this was actually a really new and fresh idea and the vision of Lorne Michaels. And I don't think a live comedy, sketch, music, variety show didn't really exist. The acting in this movie is incredible. The ego and riz of Chevy Chase was flowing through Corey Michael Smith. Dylan O'Brien as Dan Aykroyd capture his bombastic personality and confidence. I love Ella Hunt's portrayal of Gilda Radner, and I wish we had more time to develop that. Matt Wood captured the intensity of John Belushi, and I really wanted more. So many other great performances. Nicholas Braun as Andy Kaufman and Jim Henson both were great. And the incredible anchoring performance of Gabriel LaBelle as Lorne Michaels was perfect. His performance kept everything moving and kept you fully invested in the success of him and the show. But the way the story was formatted, so this is in real time, 90 minutes leading up to the first live broadcast. So that doesn't really give you a ton of time to develop all the characters from the original cast of Saturday Night Live, which included a lot of writers, a lot of grips, a lot of people that you'll recognize if you're a fan of the show watching this movie, but they don't really get a lot of time on air. Now, I've been an SNL fan since 1987. That was Dana Carvey, John Lovitz, Bill Hartman, Jane Hooks. Since then, I went back and I watched all the old ones, so I'm familiar with the story. And that's where my one beef comes in. So I don't know if this movie is going to be really enjoyable for people that aren't fans of Saturday Night Live. Now, I'm familiar with the story. I've looked back. I love all the characters. I know who was there for the first year of the show. I know some of the stories. But I'm not really sure it offers enough for people that aren't familiar with SNL. The real-time 90-minute format leading into the first episode might not give a non-SNL fan enough time to commit and buy into the story. I was completely sucked in. This movie helped me feel the energy of that first night. Now, remember, this was 1975. This format, this show didn't really exist. So should you see this movie if you're a fan of SNL or Saturday Night Live? Yes, 1000% yes. I highly recommend this movie. If you're familiar with the story of the show, you will notice that they took some liberties with some of the activities that go on. They crammed something in that didn't happen necessarily in season one, but it does help capture the energy and keep the story moving. So I can't fault them for that. Finding one of the head writers in a bar 5 minutes before the show, not really how that happened, but it made for a good story. Now, if you're not a fan of Saturday Night Live, I'm really curious to know if there was enough character development here for you. So I know the stories. I know the characters. They didn't need to say their names on camera, and I knew who they were. So if you're not a fan of Saturday Night Live, I'm really interested to see what you thought of this movie. So here's what I recommend. Go watch this movie. This movie is about 90 minutes leading up to the first live broadcast. The movie ends there. So go home, subscribe to Peacock, watch the first episode of SNL, which happens directly after this movie, so you get kind of the full experience, and then cancel your Peacock subscription because no one can carry that many subscriptions. So I really enjoyed this movie. I really wish there was an extended cut. I wish that they went back like 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, 4 hours before the live broadcast. I would be okay with that.